In this video, I'm going to describe for you the steps that I would take in order to secure a $100,000 income if I was in my 20s again. Financially, things are getting out of control. There's insane inflation, student loan debt. People can't even retire because they don't have enough money. People can't buy houses, they can't afford to have kids, and the list just goes on. So if you're in your younger years and you're already taking time to watch videos like mine and try to figure out how to best position yourself, I applaud you. Man, for real, because other people your age aren't putting in that same amount of effort. And these issues are going to creep up on them when it's too late, and it's going to be very difficult to change. So first of all, give yourself credit. In addition, I'm excited to share with you certain steps that can hopefully put you in that positive direction. This first one may be a real hot take, but I want you to hear me out, okay? And that is, really assess if you need a college degree. Now, in the past, it was an absolute necessity. You needed to have a college degree in order to secure a higher paying job, but times have changed. Well, first off, degrees are way more expensive now. And what's even more messed up, if you're in the US, you cannot get rid of your student debt. Like, that thing follows you forever. It's not like you can declare bankruptcy and say, haha, you should have given me the loan. That was a poor choice on your side. It's like, nope. You still gotta pay it, gotta pay the interest, and it can be a huge burden, especially when you're so early in your career or early in your stages and you take on that loan and it could just be disastrous. And I'm not saying that getting a degree is a bad idea. Absolutely not. There are certain professions where you still absolutely need it and you can secure a six-figure income. A great example would be becoming a doctor. I can't just watch a YouTube video, walk into the interview and say, I want to do surgery now because I know surgeons make a ton of money. Give me the job. Give me. I'd be like, nope. So the main point is be extremely intentional if you decide to pursue a degree. You're going to be spending so much time, so much money. So just take a little bit more time to do research and make sure that's a good fit for you. For example, check out how much this career pays, especially once you get out of college. Not like the tippy top, but realistically, how much can you get paid once you're out of college? Also, see if that job is in demand, because even though it could look like, ooh, I could be making 100K, this is gonna be a good day. It's like, well, maybe 1,000 people are lined up for that one position, and that position's not in demand, and therefore you're screwed. Thirdly, make sure that in order to get that career that you're looking at, that you really actually need that degree. When it comes to, let's say, programming in IT, sometimes you can just really do it on your own. You can do your own projects. You can help contribute because all that matters is experience and the skill. And it doesn't matter whether you have a degree or if you did it yourself. And finally, take a look at what other people are saying about the degree. Are they really happy that they did it? Or were there like no jobs and now they're working minimum wage? Or what's happening here? Because colleges, they have an incentive in order to get more students and offer just a ton of degrees, even if it doesn't have a market fit, even if there aren't jobs lined up. So this is an exaggeration, but if you're looking into basket weaving, and you're like, ooh, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. And then colleges are like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got a program just for you. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. Okay, 4 years. And all of a sudden you get done, you're like, yes, I'm a master basket weaver. And then finally you look and go, this wasn't this isn't what I expected. Next, avoid financial pitfalls. You don't want to be burdened by stuff that you don't need because you need to be nimble. You got to have like an emergency fund. You need to buy yourself time because it takes time to figure out where you want to go, what you're really good at, what skills you have to develop. And that is what should be your main focus, not the stuff. You can get that stuff later. When you're older, when you have that extra income, and then you can treat yourself, and it's well deserved. But don't try to shortcut the process, have a little bit too much fun, try to impress people, because in the long run, it's gonna bite you. Some financial pitfalls are, and this isn't the whole list, but don't buy an expensive car. I know they're fun, but focus on something that gets you from point A to point B, does its job. And the same thing applies for your living place. I mean, we all want to have a nicer place and even upgrade a bit, but don't go outside that limit because you're going to be stuck with it. Same with the car. And watch what you buy. Like, don't buy dumb stuff online or at the mall, just something that you truly need. All right, with this next one, I'm so guilty of this, and it set me back so far in my 20s. And I'm really hoping you can learn from me so you don't repeat the same mistake, which is Stop wasting time chasing short-term highs. So in case you didn't know, I used to be a hardcore video game addict, and I can't tell you how many hours I wasted, how much it set me behind in my 20s, and what would be my full potential now if I would have realized that sooner. Now, if you have a good control, you have a healthy balance, that's awesome. But in my case, I did not. Now, looking back, I didn't just waste my time with video games. I was watching Netflix and watching way too much TV and sports and spending too much time drinking with friends and having fun in that way. And that's not to say don't have a healthy balance. Like, yeah, absolutely. You're young. Enjoy that phase because you're not going to get it back. But make sure that you're intentional with how much time. And whatever time you allocate towards those fun activities, those short-term highs, that is something that is taking away from building towards that 100K income that you're looking for. So now that we talked about the big mistakes to avoid, I'm excited to share the steps I would take to secure a six-figure income. Okay, so a great starting point is to identify your skills. What are you good at, or what are some things that you absolutely cannot do and want to avoid? Now, I remember people asking me that in high school, and that really pissed me off. I'm like, I don't know, Deborah. I'm 17. I'm trying to figure my stuff out. I know that I'm not good at art because I just draw stick figures, and that's all I got. But I'm going to share with you my story, and hopefully it's a little bit better than other videos saying, find your passion. Like, what the hell does that even mean? So in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, I like video games, so what if I become a programmer? And they make a lot of money, so this is a good start. And I finished my college degree in that, and then I got into the field, and then I was able to navigate into my niche area, which is I don't like programming, ironically. Didn't learn a lot through school. At my job, learned way more. In fact, I learned that I don't like programming. I write bugs, and I'm seen as the villain. So I'm like, how about I be the hero and fix the bugs of other people? Ooh, and in that process, I also had to communicate with a lot of users to figure out what the issue was. And that helped my communication skills. I was like, oh, cool benefit. In the meantime, I picked up social dancing, so that too helped me out with my confidence, my ability to talk to people, and I even traveled all around the US and to different parts of the world, and that further just stacked my ability to communicate. Later on, I decided to use my communication skills and technology in order to create a different YouTube channel, and that did fairly well. And that's where I also learned different skills such as video editing. I'm already on the techie side, so it just kind of worked out. And that's why I made the difficult choice of creating a new YouTube channel, but something that I'm passionate about. And that's what you're watching right now. And I'm looking to just help people improve, but not through motivational videos, but actually taking steps forward, making it small, but steps that you can actually take. Be very specific, not just a motivational video. So circling back to the point of identifying your skills, hopefully through my journey, you can see that it took a long amount of time. Now, if you're lucky and you already know your purpose, that's awesome. Pursue that. You're already a few steps ahead. But if you're not, similar to how I was, that's perfectly okay. And that's why I reemphasize, don't waste your time doing dumb stuff and don't be financially burdened because you may get locked into a job or a way to just make money, but then it robs you from your ability to explore. Now, if you still feel lost and you're not sure and you don't like the generalities of find your passion, well, here are a few deeper tips that you can try out. Number one, figure out what interests you. I'm talking about look at your YouTube search history and don't do things that is just all about Marvel and superheroes or anything of that nature, but something that is could provide value to other people as well. Maybe you're into video editing. Perhaps you really know how social media works. You like history, you like coding, you like tech. Something that you're like, okay, I could watch this and watch a few more videos about it and start to research that area in general and start asking the right questions of how do people make money in here and see if that interests you. Another idea is to actually check out ChatGPT. Yeah, use AI. It's so powerful. I already have a video linked somewhere. It'll be linked down below up here. But ultimately, it's a very beginner guide and it works so well. And you just talk to it like it's like a career navigator. Difficult to describe. It can put on so many roles, so many hats, and just literally ask it questions. Say hey, I'm looking to find what I'm good at, my skills. Can you help me out? And just talk to it like it's a person and keep building that way. If you're at the beginning stages and you have the luxury of time, just try different things, because eventually you'll kind of be like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I was kind of good at this. Like, for example, I'm really detail oriented and I'm extremely visual. So when it comes to documentation, oh, this is something that I excel in. And it helps me to also provide that to others and have it be a great learning tool. Eventually, you'll pick a lot of different things, but you'll get to a point where you have to make a decision. Because if you're constantly switching, you're never growing and seeing the full potential. And you're always having to start back at ground zero. And picking something is really nerve-wracking. And just know that hopefully you have the time. Find something you're willing to sacrifice a couple years of your life to pursue. I know that can feel overwhelming. Ooh, you're like, oh, what? A couple years? But yeah, because if you don't pick anything, the time's going to go by and you're going to waste it. So you might as well pick something, eventually hopefully develop some skills, and you can transition, bridge it over if that's something that you don't like. So in example with my YouTube channel, like, it's unfortunate that I did it for like a year or two, wasn't passionate about, and I gave it up. But a lot of those skills carry over and actually got me closer to what I am passionate about. So were those 2 years a waste? No. In fact, it was the building blocks to get me where I am right now. And I want you to have that same mindset as well. So don't feel like I have to figure it out. It has to be done. Just kind of naturally explore and take your time, but then also be intentional and pick up those skills and see, oh, I really like this, or I don't. As you're moving forward and you're exploring your interests, you're trying different things, building up your skills, make sure that your skills can be tweaked and modified so that it provides value to other people. Because if you're looking to increase your income, well, what is money? It's providing value to other people. So always make sure to have that in mind, because if you're tunnel vision just on yourself, oh, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy doing, but it doesn't help anybody else, well, you're gonna fall flat on your face. At that point in the journey, I'd be like, okay, I figured out something that I'm kind of interested in. I wanna build up some skills. Well, the next thing would be agree to work for free. I know that's like, huh? What? I'm putting in the time trying to be compensated? It's like, yes, but at the same time, your skills aren't good enough to have that credibility or to really ask for money. So the best way of how to go about it is say like, okay, I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to, again, going back to, let's say, coding, where you're like, maybe I'm not going to go the college route. I'm going to now just start coding. I'm going to use ChatGPT to teach me how to code. I'm going to watch YouTube videos. I'm going to join certain projects and get like real good experience that way. And through that process of working for free, you're building up a portfolio, so you have something to show when you're maybe looking to join a project or join a company. You're like, hey, take a look at all that stuff that I already did. And in addition, you're building up the skills. So you have a portfolio and you have the skills. And you're also networking indirectly. So it's just building and building, and the more you learn, the more you can do. And then you get to the point where it is reasonable to ask for compensation. And as you go through that journey, you're like, hey, I'm liking this. It's getting better and better. In hindsight, this next step would have been a game changer, would have saved me so much time, but this is where I hope you capitalize, and that is find a mentor. So I would find somebody that is in my industry or have the financial success that I'm looking for and just reach out to them. I could know them in real life, or I could go on LinkedIn and try to DM them, whatever the case may be, and say, I would love to just help you, and then you can like help me and build up these skills and just give me a path forward so I can shortcut the process. And here's a secret tip. Don't just think about all the value they're going to provide to you. Think about what value you can provide to them. Because think about it. If you go up to that mentor and you're like, hey, by the way, you know a ton of stuff. Can you give me your time, help me out, and do all this? They'll be like, probably more often than not, they're going to be nice and say, okay, yeah, sure. Here's a few tips. Here's a few things, and just give you like the bare bone minimum to help you out, make them feel like they're helping, feel a little warm and fuzzy inside, but nothing major. On the flip side, what if you focus on how you can provide them value? Like, everybody's got their own pain points, right? If somebody were to come up to you like, how can I provide you value? You'd be like, I don't know, dude, like go wash my car, get groceries. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. But if all of a sudden, if somebody knows that I work in IT and they're like, oh, by the way, you spend a lot of time doing this, I think I have a great idea on how to make that real quick. In fact, I even gave you this quick program. Take care of it. Enjoy. I'd be like, how can I help you? Like, thank you. This is incredible. Wow. And maybe you're not even at that point, but I want you to get into that mindset because it's going to be such a different reaction and it's going to be very beneficial. Now, this next point may be really obvious, but I'm going to state it anyway, is that you got to continue to build up your skills. Like, set aside time. Pretend like it is school. Like 2 hours a day, you're putting time in to like really learn about it and be consistent and really stack and build up that habit. Because if you only do like, oh, I do 30 minutes here and then on the weekend I watched an hour, and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. You got to take this seriously and actually put time towards building towards it. In addition, if I'm in this process, I'm thinking, how can I generate more income? I'd be focusing on doing something online. Because if you're in a small city, your opportunities are limited as opposed to being in a bigger city. And even if you are in a big city, right, you're limited to where you are. But if you do it online, you literally have access to everybody online. So for example, with this YouTube video, if I wanted to really describe this process to somebody one-on-one or even like in a group setting, really limited. But by posting this on YouTube, it can be watched at any time by an unlimited amount of people, and I can really leverage my time. And that applies to, let's say, selling something online, right? Somebody sees it, they can buy it, can ship it out. Okay. Same goes for also offering a service of any kind that you're building your skills towards. Now you can get online, you can talk about it on social media, you can network with a ton of people on different social media platforms, and you just have a lot more ability to scale in an easier way. To further extend that point, I would build a personal brand. See, we're all hearing about like, oh, AI is going to replace this and that, but, and this is where my bet lies, this is what I think will happen, is that people are going to want to relate and connect with other people that have been through the same struggle. And AI won't necessarily capture that, or it's kind of fake, but you want to connect with another human that actually did it. So then by going online and saying like, hey, I was struggling with this. These are the steps that I took. This is my journey, and just providing value, right? Because when we go on social media, what do we think? Scrolling, entertainment, and do it for that. But we're consumers. But it's time to kind of flip the script and be a producer, provide something of value. And you're going to be amazed at who you're going to be able to network. You're providing value for other people in the past, or I shouldn't say the past, but you're providing value to people that are in a similar situation that you once were. And that feels great. And the options that come from it, you just don't know. And I think more people will realize that. So why not capitalize right now and get ahead of the curve? Another thing I would do is focus on my health. And I know it's a cliche, but it's understated the benefits that come from it. Like, of course, you want to be healthy. You want to live as long as possible. It's a great investment. But I'm going to tell you why it pertains to increasing the income. Number one, you have a better physique, like physical appearance, right? And unfortunately, people judge, right? So, but if you see somebody that is built, that really put in the time, and they're self-disciplined, you go, wow, okay, if they're really self-disciplined and they're not eating milkshakes every single day and just like pigging out, and they really take care of themselves, like, are they going to take care of different jobs, different responsibilities? Maybe, probably, right? So why not capitalize on that advantage? In addition, just by being in better physical shape and having a clean diet, it's going to help out your mental performance as well. So I want to take any benefit that I can, any advantage, and I would be focusing on that as well. Now, this next step is more based on family situation. Everybody's is different and preference. But if I'd be going through this process, I would live at home if possible, because I'd be saving so much money. It'd be less of a financial burden, And then it allows me the ability to just take on more risk and really be intentional on upgrading my life. At the same time, I do know that it's a major sacrifice because you want your own space, you want to have certain experiences when you're in your 20s and finally get out of the house, but there are different, I think about different workarounds. Like, do you have a friend that has their own place and can you kind of branch off or utilize that? Talk about living at home and downgrading your lifestyle. You can't care what other people think. And it's not only about how you live, but also what you're doing. Because in that younger phase, we all don't want to be judged, right? We want to have good connections and be like really high up. But when you're starting something new, you're going to suck. It's just that simple. And then if you tell other people about it, they're like, hey, what are you up to? And you tell them, oh, I'm trying this. They're going to say, oh, that's cool, man. How's it going? And you're like, still picking up. And you're going to feel that judgment. And that's normal. So you got to learn to say, I know what I'm doing. I know this path. I don't necessarily know the exact steps. But if I put in the right next positive step, I'm going to end up in a much better place and it's going to pay off. And in the meantime, I'm looking at some of my other peers or what they're doing. I can't compare myself to them because we're not on the same journey. If you're just focused on having fun, well, I don't want to be on that path. And if somebody's like really advanced in a different way, happy for them. But I'm really taking this unique approach in which I want to make a ton of income doing it my way that I see fit. And finally, and this one's important, is that I'd be patient with myself. If I'd be going through this journey, I would think, okay, maybe I'm relatively fresh out of high school or in my 20s and nothing really panned out. I tried a few different things, but nothing concrete. In the meantime, I'm trying to hit this big goal of high income, 6-figure, but I don't have anything to show that it's going to work out for me. And that would make me question my tactics, if I'm good enough, my self-confidence, that I'm trying new things, I'm falling flat on my face, and I don't have any results to even hint that I'm going to make it. And to make matters worse is that there are other people that are probably broadcasting like, I made it, I'm doing so awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then I feel like crap because I'm not getting to where I want to be. And in that type of situation, I'd be kind to myself. I'd appreciate all the hard work that I'm doing. That as long as I'm taking step after step in a positive direction, that would be success for me. So I'd redefine failure and say failure is not that I achieve that I don't achieve that high income. Failure would be that I'm wasting my time, I never gave it a try. And success would be that I'm giving my best effort forward, I'm reaching for this, and I'm just going to trust the process that I'm going to get there because other people, they don't have the guts to do what I have to do. All right, guys, I really hope this helped you out. And if you're feeling overwhelmed because you're like, there's just way too many steps, so many unknown variables, it's completely normal and I get it. The most important thing that you can do is have just a general direction as to where you want to go and taking actionable steps and consistent. In fact, if you're wondering where to get started and just some tools to improve your self-discipline, check out my other video because I think it'll really help you out.